And why don't you talk a little bit about the importance of nutrition, the importance of fitness for those like me who are these small business owners running 180 miles an hour, trying to make ends meet. Why is it so important that we pay attention to this?
Yeah, definitely. Well, first of all, Steve, thank you for having me. I really appreciate the opportunity to share. And really the importance of this is you are your greatest asset, right? Your business is up there, but not as important as you, right? Because it takes you to run the entire business. And especially when you talk about the small business, I'm one of those small businesses. I'm a solo, entrepreneur. I get help from people, coaches and things like that, but it's really me doing the day-to-day stuff. And, we all fall victim to it. We get so wrapped up in our experience of, running the numbers and, I have a new project coming up and all that stuff. And, myself included, I gained 10 pounds when my son was born 8 years ago.
Mm.
And here I am, the personal trainer, gained 10 pounds. It was really bad. So I had to wear baggy clothing for a little while. But, I think this is really vital. I think when I personally break down my life and my goals, number one is always, spirituality, connection to God, nature, whatever you want to call it, the higher being. And number two is always personal health. And then it goes to family, and then it goes to business. So I think when we have our priorities in that order, we can give more to our business. We can be more efficient. We don't have to work those 15-hour days. We can get that much work done in 8 hours because we just feel better and we have more energy.
Let's talk about those folks that are struggling that way, and maybe touch a little bit on not just what fitness can do for your own health. What can your health or fitness do for your business? Because I think there's a trickle-down effect here where this actually does, the healthier you are, the actual improvement there will be in the bottom line of your business. So maybe tie that together for those who need to speak the language of business. It's not enough to tell them you should just be healthier for your own sake, but for the sake of your business. Talk about that.
Sure. Yeah, absolutely. When you're eating right, when you're moving enough to facilitate health and fitness within your body, you can put in those 16-hour days if you need to, right? The energy is just through the roof. There are more ideas coming, right? You may come up with the idea that will completely transform the direction of your business for the next 5 years. In fact, I get most of my ideas during my workouts. And, I have a system where, and hopefully everybody watching this is already doing this, something like it, right? If you get an idea in the middle of the night or during a workout, you need to write it down, right? So, because it's very rarely, a good idea very rarely comes when you're sitting down trying to think of a good idea, right?
Mm-hmm.
They jump out in inopportune times. And I personally find that during workouts, just because the blood is flowing, or I don't know what it is, but I get a ton of ideas during my workouts. And then, just the fact that, again, if you have a business, you obviously need to be alive to continue to do that business. So not saying you're going to die next week, but, again, life expectancy, if you're healthy and fit, is more often than not going to be longer than if you're not healthy and fit. And of course there are outliers. What was his name? George Burns, right? The guy who died in his 90s, and he was smoking cigars like a chimney up to the day he died. And obviously there are people like that, but that's the exception rather than the norm. So in general, the body starts to deteriorate. Even if you do take care of it, we're all going to go eventually. And that's not my argument. It's not to live forever. It's that every moment that we're around is going to be the best possible moment. So
success or failure in terms of your health is sort of lying in the balance, right? Like we make the decision on if we're going to be healthy or not healthy. Some of us have an easier time of that because we were raised in an environment of health, and sort of that we were always surrounded by healthy people and people that took care of their body. So it's a little bit easier for us. Some people didn't have that upbringing. So we have to kind of, get that into ourselves that this is a positive thing to do it. So I feel like, with health, sort of things are hanging in the balance, right? Like we could go one way or the other. And how do you what's sort of the plan that you bring to people to say, all right, let's make sure that you succeed in this area of health versus fail, because your longevity of life, the expectancy is based on this. The energy that you can bring to your business is based on this. So what sort of plan do you bring to people who are saying, all right, I want to succeed in health rather than fail?
Well, I think also going back to a concept that as business owners, people who are listening to this podcast understand, you want to surround yourself with people who have done what you want to do, right? So if your goal is to become a millionaire, you're not going to hang out with people whose net worth is $50,000. I mean, not that you won't hang out with them, but
Yeah.
I mean, you're not going to like get
Yeah.
advice from them, and you're not going to ask them how to become a millionaire because they don't know. And same thing with health and fitness. So you made a good point. It's much easier if you grew up in a family where your parents were healthy, where they taught you healthy habits. But it's definitely not impossible to start deliberately surrounding yourself with people as an adult who kind of know what they're doing in the health game. So that's the value of a trainer, I think. And even if you don't go out and hire a trainer, find somebody or, somebody that or maybe even you're just an acquaintance with them on Facebook or something, and just reach out to them and say, hey, I'm really wanting to make some habit changes. Do you have any ideas? Do you have any recommendations? Because for somebody trying to get fit, the number one thing is consistency. That's it. You do not have to have the best workout plan out there. You do not have to eat perfectly. You have to just figure out where you are and take the next step. And then once you get comfortable with that next step, it becomes part of your life. You take the next step. And it really is that simple. It's almost boring. But it really is just about, okay, how can I integrate this next thing into my life? For example, if you discovered, I think omega-3s, based on all the research that I've done, omega-3s are healthy. I need to eat more omega-3s. Okay, where do I get omega-3s? And then figure out how you can integrate that into your life. Once you've done that for a week or two, maybe a month, okay, well, now it turns out I need more fiber. Okay, maybe I can add a salad at lunch, and then you just make one habit at a time. And again, it's the long game, right? Think like, okay, over the course of the next year, I'm going to develop 15 new habits. And that's 15 habits is easily the difference between health and poor health.
I love this. I mean, I'm a big believer in having a doable plan. This is clear. Okay, number 1, go on the regular walk. Number 2, figure out the food stuff. Number 3, start the stretching and the core stuff. And don't worry about, okay, can I bench 280? Don't worry about how many reps you can do on the leg curls or all those different things. Do this stuff first. I love it. It feels like it's a plan. And I think, the macronutrient stuff, there's so much there that you've boiled down into just some basic things. I think, I know people like me get inundated, like, okay, I want to take care of my health. Okay, well, supplements or not, which ones, how many of this, count your carbs, count this, count calories, and it gets so complicated. And I think that works for some people that are wired that way. I do think for, the small business owners that are chaotic, it's like, okay, I can do a walk. I can find a 10-minute walk a day. All right, okay, I did that for a month. Now, Chris, what should I do? Okay, now let's change into healthier macronutrients. What does that mean? Oh, eat healthier animals. Okay. You said, have brown rice instead of cotton candy. I'm not sure if that's right or not. I might debate that one a little bit. But anyway, my point is that you're making it kind of a nice clean path here. And and to reiterate what you said, it's one on top of the other. Don't worry even about some of this other stuff until you can figure out how to walk every day. Just what are some immediate action steps that every small business owner can take? I as I took notes, there's sort of these broad categories of things that I think are important. There's get emotional about the long game and start changing your priorities. Start realizing that your health is a long game. So that's a paradigm shift that I think for a lot of us small business owners to get that in our mind. The second thing, get the right peeps in your Jeep. I say that because that's the name of my TEDx talk. The people know that I did this TEDx talk, and it's about surrounding yourself with the right people. So when it comes to health, same thing. Get around people that are healthy or can drive you to be healthier. And then the third thing is just make these incremental changes and be consistent about constantly making incremental changes to get there. So those are kind of the broad categories that I have. What would you say to the question of, all right, for every small business owner out there, what are the 1, 2, or 3 just immediate things that you should do right now?
Yeah, I would. Number one, I would say drink more water. I'd say try to get up to a gallon a day. Even my wife, who's 5'2", she's a little on the small side. Tries to drink a gallon a day, and she hits it most days. So a gallon of water seems like a crazy amount, especially if you're not drinking much. But that's number one. Try to get up to a gallon a day. Number two is I would do that. I would do 10 minutes of core work a day. And by core, I don't mean just abs. I mean abs, back, and hips. So 10 minutes a day. And again, I have all these on my YouTube for free, my core balance. 10 minutes a day. And then number three, I mean, you hit with the broad strokes, you hit them for sure. Number three, I think I would reiterate the partner, finding somebody, and I would even make it even easier for people, right? Because obviously, ideal is to get your own trainer. That's not ideal for everybody, or is not practical for everybody. Second step would be, just find somebody who's pretty healthy and just partner with them. If that's not possible, listen to audiobooks or podcasts while you walk the neighborhood.